Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now we are going to present our paper entitled The Study of Market Share Shifting of Smartphone Brand by Markov Chain Method. First of all, we are going to introduce ourselves. My name is Gina Rafida and my friends are Muhammad Fikri and Fanjar Arif Wicaksono. So this is our profile group. Okay, now my friend will explain about Markov chain method.
I'm going to explain you about definition of Markov chain. Markov chain is a method or mathematical technique that usually used to make various modeling and business process. According to Dimiati 1992, Markov analysis is a method that study about characteristic of the variable in present that based on characteristic in the past. In an effort to evaluate characteristic variable in the future. According to Andrei A. Markov 1906, is an expert in mathematics from Russia that is student of Chebyshev that declare theory of random variable dependence or Markov process. Markov process is past stochastic process that doesn't have effect in future if known in the present. Markov method. Markov method is able to apply for discrete system or continuous system. The first one, the system must be stationary or homogeneous. It means state of system that always be the same in every time or the transition probability system from one state to another state. It will always the same in every time. The second one, state is identifiable. This state allow occur in system must be identified explicitly. Is the system have two state that the state of operation and failure state, or the system have three states that 100% success, 50% success, and 100% failure. General characteristic. Markov process have a general characteristic. Those are, as you can see, from number 1 until number 4.
Now I will explain our study case of our research. In this research, we want to know the sequence of possible of students in Telkom University in changing smartphones brand in which the probability of each event depends only on state attained in the previous event. To get the information, we make a survey by shared a questionnaire to 100 samples in Telkom University. So the next application is POMKM version 5 for Windows. So the first step to solve the study case of Markov chain methods by using POMKM version 5 for Windows is to fill this initial column. To fill this initial column is divide the number of customer in initial period with the total number of sample. For example, for Samsung, we divided 49 with 100, which is 0.49. After we fill this initial column, we fill this matrix. This matrix, we fill it with matrix transition. After that, click the menu solving to get the value of problem solving of Markov chain method analysis. And there will pop up the solving problem of Markov chain analysis. So, this is the value of Markov chain analysis by using POMKM version 5 for Windows. This is the matrix transition in period 1, matrix transition in period 2, matrix transition in period 3, matrix transition in period 4, matrix transition in period 5, and matrix transition in period 6, until matrix transition in period 7. Based on the Markov chain result, by using POMKM There are two applications to solve the study case of Markov chain methods. The first one is Microsoft Excel and the second one is POMKM version 5 for Windows. So now I will explain Markov chain solving problem by using Microsoft Excel. The first step to solve our study case by using Microsoft Excel is recap the data of our questionnaire into a matrix. So we can know the total number of customers in initial period and the total number of customers in the next period. After that, we make the detail matrix to get the detailed information about the number of change of customer during the period. The detail matrix can be shown in the previous period and the detail matrix can be shown like this matrix or the previous matrix, because both matrix has the same meaning, which is to get the information about the number of customers who change their smartphone brand from the initial period into the next period. After that, the next step is to make the transpose matrix from the recap data matrix. This matrix is using for this first step in making the transition matrix. After we make the transpose matrix, we make the transition matrix. To fill the cell of the transition matrix, we divided the cell in row with the total row number. For example, to fill the cell 1.1 is 30 divided by 49, which is 0.6. This matrix transition is the matrix transition for period 1. To get the matrix probability in period n, we multiply the matrix transition in period 1 with the matrix transition in the previous period by using the formula, which is equal MMULT FRI1 FRI2. FRI1 is for the matrix transition in period 1 and FRI2 is for the matrix transition in the previous period. We do this process until we find the state probability matrix. State probability matrix is the matrix that have the same probability if we multiply the matrix transition with the state probability matrix itself. So, this is the matrix transition of period 3, period 4, period 5, period 6, period 7, and period 8. After several data processing, we found the steady state probability and we can end our calculation. The steady state probability is in period 5. And we can use this probability as the prediction in state condition. After that, we can determine the equilibrium state probability for each variable, which is Samsung, iPhone, and Asus, from the matrix of market share in period 1 until period 8. From the matrix of market share, the equilibrium state probability for Samsung is 0.4 or 40%, and for iPhone is 0.6 or 60%, and for Asus is 0.1 or 10%. This probability of market share for each brand will be the same from period 5 until the long-term period. Okay, the next application is POMKM version 5 for Windows. Based on Markov chain result analysis by using POMKM application, we can determine the value of steady-state probability for each brand. For Samsung is 0.4 or 40%, for iPhone is 0.5 or 50%, and for Asus is 0.1 or 10%. Also, we can determine the value of equilibrium state probability, which has the same value as the steady state probability. Based on our research processing, the implementation of Markov chain method on handphones brand will determine the steady-state probability for each brand. Also, it will determine the equilibrium state probability for each brand, which is the equilibrium state probability will show the probability of market share in long-term period. The process flow of Markov chain method will show the matrix transition for each period. In the processing, there will be a period that show a matrix that have the same probability with previous period. If the matrix on previous period multiply by the matrix transition to find the matrix transition in period n, then it will show the same matrix as the previous. This matrix called as steady-state probability matrix. From the steady-state probability matrix, the next step is determining the equilibrium state probability for each variable, which will show the probability of market share in long-term period.
Okay, so we're going to the research methodology section. So the section actually talks about what methods used in conducting the research. In this research also, we basically try to find out the sequence of possible of students in Telkom University in changing handphone brand. In this method also, the system is represented by two states that have been identified, which is called as situation 1 and situation 2, which is the transition probability of one situation to other situation, or the probability will stay in the previous state. As you can see in the picture below the description. And this is our flow chart. So this flow chart describes how we actually get our research done from the very beginning until the end of the research. The first one, we determine the study case, and then we determine the Markov chain method as solving problem, and then the third one, we determine population and the sample as well, and then we share the questionnaire. The questionnaire is in the form of online questionnaire. Then we come up with question, has the number of respondents already in 100 people? If it is a no, then we go back to share the questionnaire. We wait until it reaches 100 respondents. And if it is a yes, we then recap the data questionnaire, and then we create matrix transition. After that, we determine matrix transition in period n. After that, we determine matrix of market share probability in each period. And then we come up with question, have we actually found steady state probability? If it is a no, we have to then determine matrix transition again in period n. And if it is a yes, then we will find prediction in state condition. Then we analyze the data. After that, we come up with conclusion, which means that we have to resume what is the result talking about. And that is the end of the research after the conclusion. So now basically we have gotten 100 respondents from faculties and all batches of students of Telkom University. So we had expected to not only take students from industrial engineering, nor only from faculty of industrial engineering, but also from all faculties in Telkom University. Also, we're taking batches from all batches in this university, and as you can see, there are percentage of faculties and also percentage of batches. And then this is the result of the first stage. We have them asked, what brands of handphone that have you used previously? There are 49% taking on Samsung, and then 38% using iPhone, and then 13% uses Asus. That maybe if you wonder why we only put 3 of these brands, this is because we only put these three brands, as they are these brands actually are the most trending brands, most trending handphone brands or smartphone brands nowadays. So this is the total is 100%, as there are 100 responses. And then this is the result of second stage, which means that we have them asked what brands of smartphone that people used now. And then the result is very stunning, where there are 47% now are using iPhone, and then there are 42% of people using Samsung, and then 11% of people using Asus.
Okay, so that's all from our presentation. We are sorry if there was any mistakes. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.